Okay, well, thank you very much for having me here today. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we're meeting on and pay my respects to elders past and present. As Tim mentioned, I'm not here in my capacity as a councillor. The reason for that is I have declared a conflict of interest. So firstly, because I've done some work with Steve Timmis previously in another area. And also because I'm related to a lot of people here today too. So look, my view in terms of this is relatively straightforward. I've always been very consistent in upholding the Moya, so the right to farm under the Mildura Alder irrigation scheme. And typically, this is an unusual situation in that usually when a Moya issue comes up in the chamber, it's because a grower has come to us with a good proposal, a proposal that makes a lot of sense, you know, whether they want to build some sort of accommodation on the land or they want to subdivide it somehow or whatever. I've always been really, I guess, disciplined about trying to stick to what that Moya tells me to do as a councillor. Other councillors have had different views and different tendencies, but this is, I guess, a bit of a unique place for me to be, because I can tell you with honesty that I think that in this case the Moya should be upheld, and people will like me for saying that as opposed to what usually happens, where it causes quite a bit of frustration. So without fear or favour, I can say that, I think that I want to mention how fabulous I think the advocacy has been. The standard of the advocacy has been amazing and very articulately expressed, better than I could do, as to, you know, the sanctity of the right to farm and the preservation of prime agricultural, horticultural land, that really does need to trump other considerations in this case. I have spoken to people on different sides of this discussion. One of the things I have said, and I said this in the paper yesterday, that I think that the answer to this lies in better forward planning at a state government level. So I don't think, my opinion is that the council, at council level, should be upholding the Moya in this case. That's just my opinion. It doesn't count for anything because I can't vote. However, I think that the state government has a responsibility to be able to identify this as an issue that is going to come up increasingly. This is the first issue, but it's an issue that the state government really needs to pay attention to for our area. We need to preserve our prime agricultural, horticultural land. We also, though, want to have the benefit of the solar industry in this region. So the state government, particularly driven by, you know, our local MP, needs to get on the front foot, needs to do what's necessary to have these planning regulations looked at quickly, and also to do what's necessary if it's an issue about you know, connectivity to grids, and I'm not an engineer, my language is probably not sophisticated, but if it's an issue of technology, and if that's the reason why businesses are wanting to go so close to the town, then we need state government investment to be able to connect up on the outskirts, outside the Moya, so we can get the benefits of all of these important things in our new era for new generations. One of the things that has been said to me is that, you know, you can beam it off to state government, you can ask the planning minister to look at it, that's all fine, it's going to take forever, we'll be sitting here for ages and nothing's ever going to happen. I am less cynical than that. I think that one of the important things, and I'm just going to be political just for a minute and then I'll stop talking, is that there is a lot of commentators are saying, as they look at the numbers coming up to the election in November, that there is a good chance that it's going to be a hung parliament and that the Greens and Independents will have the balance of power. So, and we've got Nicole here, so that would place people like Nicole in a strong position of power, but it would also place our region in a strong position of power if we were one of those to hold the balance of power. So if there was an independent elected, or if a party MP, such as Peter, a member of the National Party, was to cross the floor on this stuff. So I just want to say that I think that I'm far less cynical about our ability to resolve this at a state level than perhaps other people would be. So I think that there's lots of great stuff in this space. You're doing an awesome job. I commend you all for it, and I completely support what you're doing. So thank you.